Peace, everybody. This your brother, Mr. Holipsism. I'm here with my brother Deontay Ford
Yeah, Heavy D.
as my co-host, and we are here to discuss something that is very irritating.
Oh Lord. Yes.
So-called black conservatives drink the Donald Trump
Oh.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out what a black conservative is actually conserving because we don't control nothing in this country.
We'll get there. This is the
Mhm.
description. The so-called black conservative is conserving. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Sorry about that. The
You
so-called
good?
black conservative is conserving and maintaining white power. We know this is true because they don't even control a single dirt road in the country they choose to exist in. The ideological foundation of the black conservative in America is the white man got this.
That sounds accurate.
So, what are your thoughts? I'm going to let you talk. People have been hearing me run my mouth for too long.
Yeah. So again, black conservatives have to understand that we do not control anything in this country. We don't control any hospitals. We don't control any dirt roads. We don't control any ports. We don't control any airfields. We don't control any oil fields. We don't control any electric plants and water plants. So you're talking. So if your whole political ideology or sole basis for existing solely truly based on another race that's basically taking care of you and giving you and providing your basically your reason for existing, then you pretty much failed at every metric. You don't want to control your own destiny. You don't want to control your life. You don't want to control anything. You don't want to control your social, economical, political confines of your own reality. So you're completely just tossing it up in the air and saying, you know what, it's okay. The white will take care of me. So that's complete failure.
You ever seen that movie Penitentiary?
Yes, once, only once.
The white man is Big Jesse, and black conservatives is Genie.
Oh, that's a horrible. Oh God.
Hey, that's the truth of the matter. It's like Big Jesse wants them to get it fixed, and they saying, I don't feel like it.
Right.
But unfortunately, Big Jesse don't care what they feel like. You're gonna have to do that shit anyway. And that's the black conservative in America.
Right.
I want to touch on something that you said because it's something that
Yeah.
seems to me, maybe it's because I don't know. I don't know the reason why I get it. And I am totally baffled as
Yeah.
to why other people don't get it. You said that they don't
Right.
control anything in America.
Right.
That means now I think that because we know what we're talking about, sometimes we seem to think that other people do. So let's
Yeah.
break it down and explain exactly what do we mean when we say they don't control anything in America. Why is that important to control something?
Because without control, you have no will or no power. You cannot influence anything. You cannot manage anything. If you don't control something, it's just going to be, it's always going to be left to somebody else. He who controls it makes the rules. So no control basically means, like, say, for example, if you don't control where you get your electricity from, that means the moment you start acting rowdy and start demanding a fair bit of treatment in this country, somebody can just shut off your power.
Mm,
You don't control your banks. You don't control where you put your money at. That means if there's a global crisis or something happens, your money is pretty much gone. Or they can, the banks, if they are corrupt and racist, and these banks are, they can redline you from things. They can, they can find ways to hurt you, and that's what's been happening to black people since slavery ended.
mm.
It still happens now. So all these people out here, that's just putting their fists in the air and just trying to be hold on to some vague abstract of blackness. They have no power. No, they don't control the electric. They don't control the water. They don't control anything. But they want to be pouty when things don't go their ways. Okay, you don't. What do you control? You say you're here to conserve something, but you don't conserve. You don't control the economy. You don't control the economics. You don't control industries. You don't control the water, the electricity. You don't control where you get your food. You don't control any media in this country. You don't control anything.
Mm.
So what? So no control means no power. No power means no influence. That basically boils down to somebody can treat you how they want. You're basically a tenant in somebody else's house. That's what you are.
So
That's what you
basically,
are.
that's what we mean when I say the white man got this, right?
Yeah, a lot of these yes, a lot of these Negroes here are comfortable. As long as they can just go to work and pay their electric bill, they don't really care what happens. So that in and of itself is an even larger problem that people are not really talking about.
I guess this is the reason why, and it sounds very familiar to the modern woman to me,
The modern woman.
because that's exactly what the red pill says about the modern woman. The modern woman does not acknowledge the authority of the man, just like these guys don't acknowledge the authority of the white man.
Right.
They don't want to control the water. They don't want to control the food supply. They don't want to control the bridges. They don't want to control the tolls. They don't want to control the electrical grid. They don't want to control the gas piping. They don't want to control the seaports, the airports, the airplanes, the boats. They don't want to control the maintenance of society. They don't want to control none of that. Why? Because the
No.
white man got this. They are very comfortable living up under the infrastructure and the control of white people and complaining about white supremacy than they are about having their own country and controlling policy and having their own government, building their own society, building their own infrastructure. They're against us when it comes to that. But then they say we can do it right here in America, but they don't even want to do that. They want to leave that in the hands of the white man because they feel the white man is more capable of running the society than they are. And
Yeah.
this is the message that they send to their people, and their people accept this message. That's the thing I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around.
Well, when you've been locked up in a cage for so long, it becomes normal for you. You're used to somebody providing your meals, telling you what to wear, where to go, when to come back. You're used to that.
Mm.
Black people really don't. Yeah, black people have been in cage for so long that now it's to be locked up in an insane asylum. It's just normal for them. To have an overseer tell you what you should do, what what you should wear, what you're gonna eat, when you're gonna eat, blah blah blah, who you can talk to, who you can't talk to. All that is normal for them now. All of it's normal. They see no problem with that whatsoever.
Mm. And another thing that I want to touch on is what it means to be a conservative in general. Um, Conservatism is usually an ideology that's developed by people that's in power. Am I right?
Yes.
Because basically you're conserving the existing system. You're basically conserving the status quo. And the reason why is because you are the status quo.
Right.
You're the one that's in power. So conservatism makes sense from that standpoint. And I've made this point that in this country, we would be considered radicals, possibly leftists, not really, but mostly radicals. But if we had our own country, we would be considered conservatives. Our values would be conservative because if we had our own country, then we would be the status quo. So it doesn't even make sense
Right.
from a American perspective for there to be a black conservative, because what are you conserving? This is what Amos Wilson always said. What does
Right.
a black conservative conserve? He said they can't be conserving, their own power because they have none. So whose power and whose system and whose status quo are they conserving? It can only be the people that are their masters.
Yeah,
What's happening with
that's
your mic?
right. Yeah, that's right. That if you're conserving the power of the people who are still oppressing you, then
Hmm.
that says a lot. And then you're then at the same time relying on them to take care of you while complaining about racism. Like, like that's a weird circle to go around. It's like
Yeah.
I want you to give me my water so I can wash my ass and wash my clothes, while at the same time providing me grocery stores where I can go buy food, and also you want me to buy clothes from your establishment, take my kids to your school, pay taxes to your government so they can be educated in this damn system. All these other things you want me to do, and I'm perfectly okay with doing, but then I want to turn around and complain about racism.
Hmm.
It's like, okay.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, how can black conservatives and rabid racists share the same party and ideology? That's a good question. That's a real good question. So I don't
What
know.
I what I would like is I would like somebody who's a black conservative to come on, either come on to the live or text us, in the chat room, communicate with us, because I really want to know how you can justify your ideology. And you notice that they're always missing in action.
Yeah, when we're live, we can't get nobody to come over here, but when we leave, our comment section be just filled to the rim with ADOS, FBA, whatever. It's like y'all only want to come on when we're not here. So we're here today.
And
Come
you
on
notice that
down.
the black conservatives are saying that we shouldn't vote for Kamala because she's not black. She's actually East Indian.
Well,
And I want to know, is Donald Trump black?
yeah.
So to me, it's a dumb argument. It's like, why are you even raising up her blackness as anything? Because blackness is not the criteria that you guys go by. Or maybe I'm
Right.
straw manning your position. This is why it's so important to get people who have a contrary point of view to come on these lives so we can have a civilized discussion. Because I'm more than capable of having it. I think it's actually productive when you have somebody who has a different point of view, because then you can kind of get into the logic of their argument, and they can look at the logic of yours, and then you can kind of work things out.
Right.
If not for the person you're debating, for the people that's listening.
Right.
I noticed that you and you and Jabari go to war on X.
We have to. There's a lot of negative things being said about our country. You can't let negative, these kind of horrible things being said, these lies, if we don't push back against them, they're already mostly accepted as true because America's propaganda machine is so undefeated and so well constructed that everything they read on, that these people read online, be it from Wikipedia, which is CIA controlled and written, Google AI, excuse me, Google AI, which we already know and confirmed is FBI and CIA controlled and monitored. They put out information that varies from that covers various topics. A lot of which, if it's historically based, is not actually accurate. Even some of their own European history is also misinterpreted here. It's always under scrutiny from foreigners because a lot of these people who they talk about actually know their history, and they know that
Hmm.
a lot of what these things are being said are false. The same thing with Liberia. They're basically saying that America founded Liberia, and Liberia was an apartheid state. And, it's just nonsense. And you can't let these harmful narratives float around in these online mental institutions like Twitter, uh, where it's basically going unchallenged. Somebody has to push back against that narrative because the truth isn't definitely here. But as long as we remain silent on these things and just ignore them, especially with some of the African people that use the internet that think that because they can Google search something is giving them a PhD to talk about whatever topic. You have to, it's causing chaos, and somebody has to be able to push back against that. Thankfully, it's not me and Jabari. There are other Liberians that are now also coming together and pushing back,
Mhm.
protecting their country. And me and Jabari and those brave Liberians that decided to stick in the trenches, we're doing the best we can. We have a core base now on Twitter, some of which I've tried to invite to the group, but well, we'll see. So, because we can use more educated young Liberians.
Just to go off topic for a little bit,
Yeah.
what information have you recently discovered that you want the people to know about?
You mean in general, like about
Yeah,
Liberia?
in general, yeah.
Okay. So, so as far as Liberia goes, I'm learning a lot about like things. Okay, so one thing I want to point out: a lot of people think that when Liberia declared its independence, that they were declaring it from the United States government. That's actually false. You see, at the beginning, there was something called the Commonwealth of Liberia, which was the earlier settlements that the American Colonization Society actually had. But Joseph Jenkins Roberts, Hilary Teague, and a few others eventually formed a government, an actual government, not a commonwealth, but an actual federal government, crafting the country's constitution and breaking away from the Commonwealth to form the actual government, federal government, country of Liberia as we know it today. So when a lot of people always get into the argument of who was Liberia declaring independence from, no, they weren't declaring it from the United States. The United States didn't recognize Liberia until after its civil war. So no, the Liberian government was declaring the independence from the Commonwealth of Liberia, which was the ACS. That's literally how the Liberian government got formed.
How
So
many how many people do you think actually know that?
from judging from what I've seen online, not many.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, so you got people floating around online. Liberia declared independence from the United States. That's not true. That's never been true. The United States has never owned any part of Liberia. Have never claimed Liberia. Didn't even recognize Liberia until the Civil War. I think either during or later during the Civil War. So that's all this talk about Liberia being an American colony. No, all this talk about African Americans going back to the colony and setting up an elitist class and killing the natives. No, that is
Excellent.
absolutely false. Yeah, that's absolutely false. That's a complete poppycock, as the British as the British people say. So, yeah, that's poppycock.
Poppycock.
Yeah, that's baloney. And no, we
Shenanigans.
didn't do any of that. Yeah, you
Tomfoolery.
telling me? Yeah, you telling me less than 40 people came that were sickened with typhoid later and yellow fever floated to your island? No guns, no weapons, no money, no military, and managed to wipe out a combined numerous tribes of confederacies and tribal kingdoms that had warriors with iron-made weapons and muskets from slave trading. That's what you're saying. You're saying that African Americans, the repatriates that came back to Liberia with no weapons, no money, no power to do anything, came back and genocided natives. That's what you're saying.
Oh, you see what I have on the screen?
Hold on, let me take a look. Hold up, I'm guessing the so-called "do it right here's" believe that America belongs to Massa and the ex-plantation slaves. They just want Massa to make a room for them. Yep, that's essentially it.
Yeah. I've often described us as rebellious teenagers in their parents' house.
Yes, Black
That's how
Power
we
in White
operate.
Daddy's house. Yep.
Oh, here's
What are
something.
some good books? Oh, okay. I better go ahead and pull up my album on that because I actually okay, Mr. Xavier. Yes, I got a couple of them you can read. What are some good books on Liberia from Liberian authors? Oh, yes, I can't trust some of the books out here. Yes, I actually keep a file in my phone that I am very proud of. It has every single book you would probably need to read. Um, as far as Liberian history, if you want a safe one. So one you can do is the Citizenships and Nationalities in Liberia by Patrick C. Burroughs. That's one. But the biggest one you probably want to get also from Patrick C. Burrow, who's an actual Liberian and Liberian historian, the lead Liberian historian, is Liberia and the Quest for Freedom by C. Patrick Burroughs. There's a couple of more books from Virginia Slave to African Statesman. Hilary Teague from 1805 to 1853. That's also by Patrick C. Burroughs. You might want to take a look at that. There's also another book by well, this one might be online for free. I think it's called Liberia's Offering. You might want to check that out. So those are pretty good. If you're looking for information on Liberia, I would never trust anything I see on any of these Google AIs or anything like that because it's just false history.
Is that good enough for you, Mr. Xavier? Leading you in the right direction?
Most of this stuff, thankfully, you can find on Amazon. They're not expensive either. So don't trip on that.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold down the fort for me just 1 minute. I got to make a run. I'll be right back.
Sure. Also, you want to keep in mind that there's a variation of authors out there too. There's another book I'm trying to think of. I know I had it saved, but I can't find it when it does. You know, it's some of this stuff is PDF now, so you should be able to find it for free. Yeah, so all the books I've mentioned are pretty good. So you start with those. Start with the two by C. Patrick Burroughs. Citizenship and Nationality in Liberia, and Liberia, The Quest for Freedom. Start off with those. Think you'll be okay. There are other ways to pull sources too. We also have the Liberia Forward YouTube channel. We do history on Liberia every week, so you subscribe to that, you'll see all the various covering topics from the very beginning of Liberian histories. We do that. So you got
Thank you, Deontay. I'm back.
all gold.
Now, I want to dig more into this topic.
Mhm.
What, from what you've been gathering and what you've been hearing online, what is the talking points and the problems that people are having with Kamala Harris?
From what I can see online about her mass corruption in the state in her previous state, I think it was California, where she kept black inmates locked up longer than their usual sentence so the state can have free labor. There's the fact that she's now trying to. I guess if I'm phrasing this correctly, she's trying to basically say she's like accepting of being black now when at first glance she was saying she's Indian and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Which makes sense. We
well,
know what politics is all about.
yes, and I'm not really sure what her parents. I think one of them was Indian, and I don't know what the other one was. I really don't care about that lady that much. He was Jamaican American and Indian, but I think the father was Jamaican and Indian, and I think the mother was just Indian.
Interesting. So her father was black and the mother was East Indian, basically.
Yeah.
Well, although there are some people that would challenge if he was from the West Indies, if he's even black, because that isn't that the position of FBA and ADOS?
That's exactly accurate. But again, to be honest with you, it seems like most of her criticisms are coming from a good place. It's coming from like her policies. It's coming from her keeping young black males, locked up for extended periods of time. She had a scandal in which there was I think something about a what was it, a housing scandal? It was some kind of financial scandal that she had to go into, legitimately try to put people in jail for after she had evidence on them and couldn't prosecute anybody, but she was trying to send parents to jail for taking their kids out of school, or if their kids missed a whole lot of school or something like that. Like if their kids basically just weren't going to school, she was going for whatever reason, regardless of the reason, she was going to put parents in prison. But she was, letting corruption just fly freely in her district or wherever she was governing at. It was just a big mess. So most of the criticisms of Kamala Harris are coming from a good place. When they start getting into her race, I get into that. That's like the stupid bubble, and I try to stay out of it. If people don't like Kamala Harris, it's because of her policies and her corruption and the bribery and the other things that come with her. It's not because she's black, mostly. Well, I don't know. There are some racist people out here. I think it could be a little bit of everything. So I'm not. I shouldn't even say that.
Yeah, I think that
Most of
black.
it. Yeah, go ahead.
I think that black folks here in America are going to be under a perpetual state of damage control. It doesn't seem like we have the ability, at least the representatives and leaders that we call leaders, don't have the ability to put together a comprehensive black agenda. So what it boils down to, and I spoke about this on Emojis Live on TikTok last night, is that there is no we, there is no our, there is no us on a socioeconomic and political level. All black people are in this country is a bunch of scattered individuals. And the only thing that aligns us is our aesthetic similarities. We look black. But in terms of having a black agenda, fleshed out black agenda for the future and for the present, we just don't have that. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, okay, what difference does it make who you vote for as an individual? What difference does it make? Because
Right.
it's not like we're voting for any type of political policy. We're not using our vote as any type of leverage for anything that we can gain from. So basically, it just boils down to, oh, this person is black. Let me vote for him, like we did with Obama. And you saw what that did.
Yeah, nothing.
You know what I'm saying? But we got the opportunity to see a black face as the president of the United States. Whoop de doo. And that's how I feel about this. Kamala Harris was the first black um, woman VP, and now she's going to be the first black woman president.
Do you think she going to beat Donald Trump?
I know she's going to be Donald Trump, and it has
Why you
nothing to
say
do.
that?
It has nothing to do with her. It's just purely objective, looking at the landscape and seeing how things are going. Because one thing that's like one thing she did, and I don't know, if I could give her credit for it, but whoever her team is, I'll give them credit for it. She did something that she had to do that Joe Biden didn't do the last election. The last election,
Which
when it came time
go
to
ahead.
putting Trump in office again, the Democrats had that as their Trump card. They're like, listen, if you don't vote for Joe, you letting Donald get back in. And a lot of the base, even though they found voting for Joe objectionable, they didn't want Donald Trump. So that's how Joe was able to win. And he said he was going to be a one-term president. I remember when he said it. They went 4 years without grooming anybody to be president of the United States, and they let Joe run again. And then you saw the results of that. It was a disaster.
Right.
So Kamala being president is more of like a perfect storm. It's the people not recognizing that Donald Trump has a very limited audience, but they're very loud and vocal. So people think that they're bigger than they actually are. They think that he has the country. He doesn't. He has a small group of people who are, uneducated politically, who look to him as their hero. He doesn't have um, the independence, and he doesn't have the mainstream of America.
Hmm.
Kamala's going to benefit because one, she's a woman and she's energized women into voting because she's a woman and the possibility of being the first woman president. The reason why that didn't work for Hillary is because she was just so unlikable and so corporate that there was nothing to really excite the base. But this is what Kamala did, and a lot of people aren't talking about it. Kamala's VP pick is the reason why the party has so much energy because she basically did what Joe Biden didn't do. She gave a bone to the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. And if you notice, when she did that, the energy went up because now
Hmm.
they have somebody in there that pushes the policies. And if you look at his voting record, he's very progressive. And that's what's got the base excited. It's not so much her, but she's benefiting from that because she was smart enough to say, all right, let me throw you guys a bone and let you be a part of this. Something that Joe Biden didn't do. So the reason why she's going to win is because she has the independence, because she has that guy as her VP. And he's very
Hmm.
good too as a politician. If you ever heard him speak, he's probably going to slaughter this guy, JD Vance, if they do a debate. So that's the reason
Yeah.
why Kamala is going to win, is because the vast majority of the people don't like the rhetoric of Trump. They just don't. They just don't think that he's competent. They think he's a clown. And they don't want a clown to be president of the United States anymore. He got to be at one time. He ain't going to get it a second time. He just doesn't have the votes. It's just it's simple mathematics. So a lot of people better prepare themselves for Kamala Harris presidency because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, only thing
Keep
I
in
could
mind,
say is,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
just keep in mind,
I,
this is the same guy, me, who predicted that Donald Trump was going to be president. Not because I liked him, it's because I read the tea leaves and read the numbers and did the math. So Kamala's going to curb stomp Trump. And then the question becomes, Deontay, then what? Once Kamala
right.
becomes president, then what? Where are all these black conservatives going to be? And where are all these black power Americans and militant integrations are going to be? Because all of them are going to be upset because they all hate her.
Right.
So what's going to happen? That's the question.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
I
still trying
want
to
to
figure
know.
that out too. Like, okay, so you beat Donald Trump, then what?
Oh, we got some activity in the chat room. Baruti says,
Yeah.
Can you succinctly, what were the tensions associated sourcing between returnees and indigenous in Liberia? Who is promoting the notion that these returnees were brutal colonizers? I think this one is for you.
Okay. Yeah, because he's asking you directly. It's like, okay, so for the rest of the video, please direct all Liberia related questions to me. I'll take care of the one. I'll answer them if I can. I'm still a rookie with the history of Liberia, but I'll answer them as best I can. But to answer your question, brother Baruti, the the tensions and associated sourcings between the returnees and the indigenous of Liberians. The tension stemmed from some wanting to end the slave trade and others wanting to keep it going. That was a big thing in the time. Remember when the repatriates originally returned to Liberia, Dahomey was still at his height and power. Some of the other African kingdoms were still in their height and power. and a lot of them were still aggressively participating in the slave trade throughout West Africa. So having people that come here and establish a republic that was on its views very anti-slavery, and and you be there in that nest with everybody else who is still heavily in favor of slavery, of slave trading. That by itself is going to cause tension. But as to who is promoting it, the CIA, the FBI, the Wikipedia historians, anybody who thinks that Google or Wikipedia is a prime source of historical information, but it's not. It can give you the answer to some things like how to plunge a toilet, but it's not something you want to do if you want to do proper research about any country. Or like I say, I wouldn't go in like I wouldn't use Google to how to perform heart surgery. Like that's just not going to happen. So as to who's responsible for it, the powers that be, the people who have long tried to stop black people for years, the FBI, the CIA, anything like that. The all these things about Liberia, us having an apartheid state, us enslaving or killing all the natives, all this stuff came. It started being said after the coup of 1980. If you go back to the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, that never was being said. This is all like recent of the last like 45 years post the murder of William Tolbert. So that's who's behind it. Air Force retired. We will re-elect Trump. I don't know who he is.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not for Trump or I'm not for Kamala, but I'm just looking at the numbers, man. You guys don't have the numbers to beat her, and she has reactivated the Bernie wing of the Democratic Party with this VP nod. So now you're really in trouble because we already know if Bernie had run against Trump, he would have beat Trump. We already know that. So now you got Kamala, who represents the corporate mainstream status quo Democrat, and she's aligned herself with the progressive Bernie wing of the party. You can't beat them. You don't have the numbers. Sorry. Oh, that's Vic. He says those ain't leaders. Good afternoon, V. Michael says conservatives will fail because of their tendency to drift into pseudo-academia and pseudoscience. They sound like toothless hicks, and this is the part of Hollop's perfect storm argument. Yeah. Kamala is just lucky, man. Could you remember she didn't get any votes when she was running against Biden?
Right.
President. Nothing. Nobody liked her. Then she got into the vice presidency because of that guy in Mississippi. What's his name? Clyburn?
I forget. Yeah.
Clyburn. And now she just happens to fall into the presidency. This lady better start playing some lotto, man. She is lucky.
Yeah.
Michael says it's a victory for Kamala Harris, a victory for militant integrationists and Black Power Americans. No, because they hate her.
Yeah, well, I didn't understand that question.
Yeah, they hate her. They hate Kamala Harris. They say she ain't black and this and blah 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 blah. Can't stand it. They've been hating her for a good since 2016, basically. They've been hating.
Yeah.
Oh, here's my brother. One thing I love about being your friend is that you always make logical sense and break stuff down that's complicated to the simple. That's the goal. That's me copying Malcolm and Amos. It's not of my doing. GOP dust off the obstruction playbook. Okay, here's a question. What will be Kamala Harris policies generally if president, and will they be a benefit to Black people? What do you think?
Her policy and positions have nothing to do with Black people. Like that's like, what do you? I don't understand that question.
No, he's asking if she has any policies that will be a benefit.
No.
I agree.
She just sees us. She just looks at us as a way to help her get in. And Donald Trump has 10% of the black vote, so I'm wondering how that's going to play.
Oh, do you, if you want to jump on to Wood, wait, as a matter of fact, let me send him directly the link. Let me see. I'm gonna send it to you directly. I've been waiting for my other people to jump on. But yeah, I know that yeah, here's another thing. Talk about policies. He said, I'd rather have Kamala than the guys proposing giving cops immunity.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's right. He said because one of the policies that Trump is pushing is to give cops immunity from police brutality.
Oh shit. Well, if he's doing that, then it's a bit different.
Yeah. Vanessa says, in peace, Vanessa. At this point, the black vote is Democrat only. What a waste of votes. Yeah, we don't see the problem with us is that we don't understand what being politically educated is. We just vote on pure emotions and for symbolisms and all this other bullshit that ain't got nothing to do with what affects your everyday life.
Yeah. Yeah. So
once again,
is the Woo coming in? Is the Woo coming in?
I sent him the link. What is the black agenda? Can you guys tell me in the chat room? Like, put in the chat room what you think the black agenda is in America. What is the black agenda? This is a question the BAIO has been asking since day one. What is it?
Yeah. I keep asking that. I don't know what it is.
Because I'm really confused. Usually when you play in the NFL, the goal is to win the Super Bowl. So everything that you do is supposed to be directed, that is like your beacon. Your shining light is a championship. I don't get the sense that black folks have a championship or a goal for anything we do. It's almost like we just operating on a day-to-day basis with no real plan. Vanessa got it right. She got it right.
Yeah. We don't have no real plan. Our plan is just to keep paying our bills.
And the erudite has it right too, actually, in the reality of what we living in. Is he lying? Or she? I don't know. Is that a he or she? I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
Vic says the black agenda is making sure Democrats win the presidency every 4 years.
Well, he's not wrong, but that's what they do according to these damn numbers.
Yeah. Peace, brother.
Peace. How y'all?
Oh, we good now. You on here?
Y'all was doing a very good job before I came there.
Thank you. So what are your thoughts on the black conservative?
Hold on a second.
Go ahead, man.
There. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, you're clear.
Again, I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm sorry, I'm counting the amount of cameras I got up. First of all, I really, really appreciate your breakdown because the way that you broke down exactly how she's going to win and what the factors are. Mm-hmm. Like, there's not a lot of most people who talk about this stuff put so much emotion in it, and it's just be like it's so hard to kind of dig through the emotion and get the truth because it's like, oh well, this, that, and next thing. Because see, personally, I hate Donald Trump.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So honestly, for me, it's hard for me to look at the thing without getting emotional myself. And you know me to be a very logical, pragmatic guy. But my thinking is this. There's a couple things I do want to say as to why I'm surprised any black person would want to support him. And number one is the Central Park Five.
Yeah.
I don't I don't understand how we just sweep that under the rug. How do you sweep under the rug that man called for their death? How is it possible? How is that that's y'all not me kind of situation? I don't understand it. I really don't. And every time I bring it up, nobody has an answer for it. They just be like, well, anyway. What do you mean, well, anyway? Because if it was your family member that he was calling for the death for and it was innocent, it wouldn't be anyway. So I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? In addition to that, all the rest of the stuff that we all know was crazy. I just don't understand it. So again, being a member of the BAIO and being in tune with BAIO philosophy, none of us have a dog in this fight. Right. However, it's a situation where you was in the hood, you didn't like a certain guy, and then he fought somebody else, and you just wanted him to get his ass kicked anyway. Right?
Yep.
Right.
He was like, man, I don't fuck with neither one of them, but I just hope he gets his ass kicked. Like that's kind of the way I feel. Is like, yes, you know, I'm BIO till I die, but at the same time, I really just want to see him get humiliated, and by proxy, I want to see them get humiliated. Because, and when I say them, I mean our people who support that just decided that they was just going to brush the Central Park 5 situation under the rug. I don't understand it, son. There's a whole documentary on Netflix talking about this, and y'all still just want to look the other way? I don't understand it.
Yeah. You remember our brother Wayne Riley made this point. He said he can understand. He said he doesn't understand how anybody from New York could even be thinking about voting for Trump.
100%. 100%.
You know, I can understand people that's outside of New York who might be fooled by his bullshit. But if you're a New Yorker, you know what time it is with this dude.
Right. Right. Might I add, if you're a New Yorker in our age group.
Right.
You know, because I would give you a pass if you're younger, because you may not know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say younger, I mean 25. Yeah. But if you in your 30s, son, like, what are you doing? But here's one of the things I do want to also say is I'm seeing some wild policy suggestions coming out of Kamala's camp. And I just, like, I hear what you're saying, Hollip, but some of the stuff that she's promising don't make no sense to me. And I don't understand how it's going to be paid for. And I don't know if maybe I don't know if maybe that's just internet stuff and it's not true. But I heard like medical bill cancellation and stuff like that. How do you pay for stuff like that? With what money?
Is she talking? I'm kind of ignorant, so I'm asking the question to not only you but the chat room. I don't even know what her policies is that she's pushing.
I've seen a couple, bro. They seem very, very radical. I can tell you that much. They like seem what? Very like what I just said, like medical bill cancellation. Like that seems like I don't even know what that
means. Like I understand what single payer healthcare means. I think that would actually be good for the country.
Right, and you're consistent with that because you've always advocated for that.
Yeah, but canceling medical, I don't know what that even means or how that would even be a policy that put. But you got to remember, most of the stuff that you hear people saying that they're going to do as when they're running for president, they never fucking do.
Yep.
So what she might be doing, I think that what the Democrats are doing right now, and it seems like that's what her team is doing, is they lost the Bernie wing of their party, and that hurt them.
Right.
And it was gonna really do. If they had not embraced the Bernie wing of their party, the progressive wing of their party, Donald Trump would have won this election. Especially after that whole assassination attempt, Biden was still running. The energy was with Trump and with the Republicans, just on an optic level. You notice that when after he survived that attempt, everybody was like, "Oh shit, he's the president. He's gonna win."
Yep.
Where did that
Stephen
go?
A. Smith said that. Yep.
Where did that go? Like, where did all of that energy go?
Well, let me ask you a different question. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Because, you know, listen, when Son got elected in the beginning, there was like unilateral support for him. Everybody was happy. And it took like a year and a half for people to say, F this dude, he needs to go. What do you think was the thing that, other than the student loan debt cancellation he didn't deliver? What do you think was the most offensive thing that caused people to turn against him?
Turn against Trump?
Yeah. No, Biden.
Oh, Biden.
Yeah.
When they realized that the dude had dementia.
Gotcha.
It was just noticeable that this dude was in, mental decline. It's like, why are you parading this dude? And I think a lot of people felt bad. I don't think that there were some people that was mocking him, but if anybody who's had a family member that's had that, it's not something you really make fun of.
Contrary to that,
even if it's the president, somebody like Joe Biden, I think that people fundamentally are not gonna mock that. They're gonna feel bad.
Right.
And so I think that was the turning point.
From where I sit, I can say this to you. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you talk in a second, good brother. From where I sit, the first thing I saw that people rejected was the fact that he could not deliver on the student loan cancellation. Like, once that happened, that pissed a lot of people off, specifically women. Because remember, there's a lot of sisters and women in general who took money out to get degrees, and they're finding out, well, you got to pay for these eventually. And so when he was going in there promising he was going to cancel debt, which none of us who had half a brain believed that shit. But once he was not able to deliver that, man, I saw people from my sister to everybody. They re-nicknamed him Byron, and they started hating this dude. And I was like, why do y'all hate him so much? And it was like, well, he didn't deliver what he said. And I'm like, did you think he was gonna? And they just look at you with a blank stare. And so now with the medical debt cancellation kind of shit, to me, it's the same thing. And my thing is that you can win without throwing out those kind of lies. Why you got to do that? Like, I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Because, son, like, I'm grateful that I built my career off of a pay-as-you-go model, which is what I recommend anybody going to college, whatever, pay as you go. Do not try to kick the can down the street, because you don't know how you're going to be down the street, or how the economy is going to be, or what kind of job you're going to be. So if you pay as you go, you're going to be good money. But if you're trying to take a loan out and you got to pay for it later, when is that day going to come unless you get like a massive breakthrough in your career and you're now making $20, $30, $40 more than you thought you was going to make? You know what I'm saying? Then you could kind of like pay the your student loan off at the same time. But people don't realize that life happens so fast, which is you get out of school, you meet somebody, y'all crushing, y'all start having children. Once you start having children, society puts expectations as to what kind of car you should have, what kind of house you should have, all this other stuff. And paying off your student loan becomes a very low priority. And so if you got 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, like I listen to Dave Ramsey's show, some of these white people, son, be having like $200,000, $250,000 worth of debt. I'm like, first of all, who the hell lent you that amount of money? Who lent you $250,000? You know what I'm saying? And they kicked the can down the table. But now that I'm in my 50s, people, a lot of people say that getting old is this and that, but I love getting old because it allows me to see like a really big picture that I couldn't see when I was younger. It is almost impossible for you to take out that kind of money and then pay it back when life starts happening to you. So I guess what I'm saying is now this woman is talking about medical debt cancellation. And to me, you need to throw that shit away ASAP. Number one, because it's not possible. But number two, those few white people that you got on your side, you will alienate them with that because they cannot stand to see us get some kind of break like that. They can't stand to see us get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, that's my kind of assessment of what I've seen so far is some things look good, but a lot of stuff that she's promising is not deliverable, and it's the same model that they've been using for years. Stop that shit.
Yeah. Mike, hold on 1 second because I want to give Minister a chance to respond to something, and I don't want to trigger you, Minister, but
sure.
Look at the screen.
Whatever it is, I didn't do it. So
Central Park 5 MSM propaganda instilled divisiveness, which is lucrative. Let me tell you something, Greg McNally. I don't know you, and you don't know me. If you're black, I'm gonna call you brother. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. My nigga, I lived in Brooklyn. What in 12 fucks are you talking about? I was there.
What?
The man took out a
What?
full-page ad, and called for the death of those men. Don't try to tell me what I didn't see. If I
Yeah,
if I
Greg, I don't know
knew,
what you're talking about, bro. I'm young and I've seen it. Like he called for those boys. They even showed the actual video on in the little show that they had on Netflix. They showed that. That was
Wait,
live Donald Trump calling for their death.
Deontay, let him
Oh, my
cook
bad.
first. Let him cook.
Yeah, go ahead.
hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did somebody try to call? Somebody hung me up. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
What the fuck? No.
We hear you.
Nah, I'm sorry. Somebody tried to call me. Am I still there?
Yeah, you're here.
You hear?
Okay. So, yeah, Deontay, you know what time it is, bro. I saw that ad. Hold up, you saw that ad, right?
Of course.
Holla?
I'll never forget that.
Exactly. So please, if you're a brother, Mr. Greg, don't try to tell me what I didn't see. I saw that. Your boy called for the death of those innocent men that didn't do that, that woman lied. And now you're going to try to say it's propaganda? Get the hell out of here, son. Get the hell out of here with that. Go ahead,
Can I ask a question regards to that? This is regarding the Central Park 5 thing. Like, are there FBA ADOS people within like the New York City region, or is this mostly like a Southern thing or Midwest thing?
When you say
What?
SB,
I don't get the question.
No, he's saying, are there people that support that in the New York area? And the answer is yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's a lot.
So in regards to that, right, and what we know about the Central Park 5, are they say so? Did they get like selective amnesia about what this dude did during that time period?
Bro, no. You know what? I'm sorry. Yes, what you're saying is 100% true, but it's more so what Hollop likes to call black people's apathy. So in other words, because you didn't shoot and kill my daughter, well, I don't really give a shit about that particular drug deal because he didn't do it to me until your daughter gets shot. So that to me is what black people are doing when it comes to this Trump shit. Is like, well, he didn't call for the death of me, so why should I care? And my thing is that, like, you should care, because what happens when it becomes one of your family members? Not now all of a sudden you're going to be against Trump? And I liken this to a part of one of my favorite Avengers movies, Avengers Age of... Actually, it's Captain America Civil War. Iron Man goes and he delivers this fantastic commencement speech to a whole bunch of people. And then he goes to the elevator, and there's a black woman at the elevator. She waits for him. So as soon as she gets to the elevator, she reaches inside a pocketbook. He thinks she's trying to pull a joint out. But what she's pulling out is like the picture of somebody that I think is her son that passed away because of what happened at Sokovia. And to me, what she's basically saying is, y'all celebrating like y'all really won, when in reality, my son died because of this. And that's just the reality of it, is like, these people want to act like, oh, well, that was a long time ago. Them men could have got the death penalty behind what this dude was trying to do. But now we're going to sweep it under the rug? Did he comment again, Hollop?
No.
So, in other words, these are the type of people who would have cheered Emmett Till getting lynched.
Yeah, exactly, because it wasn't them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad for this era, man, because now they're getting exposed left and right. They can't hide no more.
MSM propaganda. What the? I'm sorry. It did trigger me.
No, it's fine.
Oh, one correction I want to make to y'all. Y'all said that Joe Biden had like the cognitive decline up until like this year. This year has been happening since the campaign trail in like 2019, 2020. You remember like this dude was like bleeding out of his eyes and his dentures were falling out? Like he's like the xenomorph. Like this shit has been happening for 4 fucking years. People want to forget that, but no, it's been happening for quite some time. And he rarely made public appearances for 4 years. And they had to like keep him in like behind closed doors a number of times. To the point where like I think he was like making a speech somewhere and he doodled on they literally said like he doodled on himself in front of some like British dignitaries. I think he did it from in front of Queen Elizabeth before she died. Like, this thing was like making speeches and shitting on himself.
I didn't know that, bro.
You know, like if you like okay, the most recent one when he was in Paris and he was like by Macron, he was turning around, he was trying to sit. They're like, yo, this nigga, he's trying to sit, but he's probably doodling right now. I'm not trying to be funny, but it's funny, but it's true. It's damn true.
Yeah, his cognitive decline was actually rearing his head in the first time he ran against Bernie.
Yeah.
It's just that it wasn't as bad as it was, just recently. Now it became like, obvious to anybody that this is what they were dealing with. And like I said, Kamala Harris needs to play Powerball, man, because she is lucky as fuck.
Another thing too. I think the reason why a lot of the leftists don't fuck with Kamala like that is because remember the backroom deals they did with Bernie, where they had all the candidates drop out just so they can send all their delegates to Biden to fuck over Bernie. So what happened here is like Buddy didn't resign so they can do a primary. So as soon as they saw the cognitive decline, they forced him to resign to bring Kamala in, and they didn't really have to go through the primary process. Because you gotta remember, in 2020, nobody liked her.
Right.
She dropped out really early, so they just gave it to. Essentially, she got selected, not elected, by the Democratic base. So that's why they're really not fucking with her. The issue about her being black is like, surface level people who don't really know what they're talking about. But really, what happened is they just gave it to her so that way she doesn't have to go through the process of like competing for the position.
Bro, they will them folks like that, them FBA kind of ADOS folks, they will never be happy until Marcus Garvey himself comes back from the grave and becomes president of the United States.
But remember, Marcus Garvey's a tether.
Yeah.
So is Malcolm X.
Mike, can you see the screen?
I
think this is for you.
Oh wait, it went away. Hold on. What was it? Bernie Sanders didn't win one county in Michigan against Joe Biden. So if that's the case, then how come they did all that mechanization to who won Michigan? As Hillary didn't beat. Honestly,
I want you guys to think about something. I want you guys to think about something if you haven't thought about it yet. What up, everybody? It's good to hear from everybody, especially Big Brother Dawood, per usual.
Peace.
I want you guys to think about the fact that you never, I never, and mind you, that's not my algorithm, but I don't ever hear Chinese Americans saying we need to be president of the United States. I don't never hear any Asian American. I never hear Mexicans complaining and saying we need the president and all this other stuff. But if this lady be president, you will now have a black man president and a black woman president. And what black people do is bite it. And then I see us being used politically. Think of it like this. If America could point to black people and say, look how bad we treat these people. Even today, we just shot one of their sisters in the face, and they're the most patriotic people in America. So what are y'all complaining about? Like, we get used so viciously, man. And we just, and it's like we're okay with it. We just want representation. Instead of domination over ourselves, we just want to be represented by everybody else.
To add to what you're saying, Umoja, is that I listen to what's that guy who's mayor of New York right now? Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So remember Andrew Yang was trying to run for mayor of New York, and he dropped out. Yeah. So if you recall, I recalled, like I was listening to like this Asian American like a podcast, and they were talking about that election. They literally said like, look, being the mayor of New York is really some bullshit. Like I don't want Andrew Yang being in that position because they're basically gonna coon you out. He's essentially saying what it is, but he's using like the Asian term for whatever coon, whatever qualifies for Asian coons, right? He said, I don't want that position. I think Andrew Yang should just like not be in that position. And lo and behold, Adams wins. And what is he looking like for the past what? How many 5 years that he's been mayor?
Has he been mayor for 5 years?
I don't know. I think he won like since what, 2020, 2021?
Let me
Almost.
check.
Wow, time flies.
Andrew
I'm not from New
Yang.
York. So even the Asians understand that concept. Like, it's best not to be in that political process. There's better ways to like fight this stuff politically.
Oh, Vanessa, I love you. Vanessa just took the words out of my mouth right now. You see that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking.
Yo, let me speak to those people in the chat who never saw the movie The Mac. It was a story about a pimp. And in one of the scenes in the movie, there was a prostitute. And one of the pimps, his name was Goldie, was talking to the prostitute. And then her pimp, Pretty Tony, walked in and caught them talking to each other. So he said, "What you doing? Get over here. What you doing talking to him?" And the prostitute told Pretty Tony that she chose Goldie. And they was about to get into some gangster stuff over this prostitute. The moral of the story is they were both pimps. Both of them were pimps. It didn't matter which one she chose. She was still going to get pimped. So this whole discussion about which is better, the Democrats or the Republicans, is the discussion of an idiot. And the reason why, and this is a problem for you, do it right here, Negroes, you Captain America Negroes, it's not a problem for the people who are calling themselves Black nationalists. This is your problem. You the one that's got to pick between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. You the one that got all your eggs in the American basket. So this is not any problem for us who have our eyes on the continent. Our home state and our nation state is Liberia. Now you can say what you want to say about Liberia. At least it's ours.
And we can build it.
Right. At least we don't have the philosophy that the white man got this, where you guys don't want to have no socioeconomic and political power. All you want to do is just be included. What do they call it? DEI or something? Diversity and inclusion?
Yeah, that's pretty much what that is.
That's what you guys want. You don't want to control the power grid. You don't want to control the electrical grid. You don't want to control the seaports and the airports and the roads and the highways, the tunnels and the tolls, the bridges. You don't want to control any of the infrastructure in this country because the white man got this. You believe that the white man is more capable of controlling a society than you are. So then take what you get. And I love the fact that you guys are going to be doing a Tasmanian fit and getting your panties twisted in a bunch because because Kamala is going to be president. She's going to be president. You guys are going to lose. And then what are you going to do for the next 4 years? Cry like you did when Obama was president? Cry for 4 years? Have this stupid discussion about, well, you voting the Democrats in, you need to vote for Republicans. How about having a clue and knowing what your Black agenda is? Because what is it? I'm still asking the question. Anybody in the chat room can answer. Vanessa answered, and she answered correctly. Land, infrastructure, nationhood. That's the Black agenda. What is your Black agenda, Black conservative? And I think I saw I think it was Baruti asked a question. Yeah. Did he say noted faces of African engagement?
What?
Did you read that?
Let me reread that over. A question for the panel: Dianus, Phil Scott. I don't know who Brandon Tucker is, and maybe Carla. Faces of African engagement promote Trump. Okay, Baruti, those people, Dianus maybe. No, I don't know who the other. I don't know who Phil Scott is,
I think Brandon
and
Tucker is
and
African something Pan African Strikes Back. I think.
if it is, fuck him and Carla because they're both a bunch of clowns. That's like the circus right there. They're not faces of anything.
She
And what's
said
behind
noted
their pro?
faces of Africa engagement.
They're not any
Wow.
of that. They're not any of that. They're fucking capitalists who are just making a profit off of people going to Africa and talking about Africa. Whatever. Fucking okay. So to answer your question in short, there what's behind their pro-Trump ideology? Clicks and views. That's what. Thank you, Michael.
It's really sad, Baruti. I don't know if you're still there, but it's really sad that the only alternative that these black talking heads are offering to Kamala Harris is Donald Trump. That's the sad part. I asked this question and I'll ask it again. You notice I ask a lot of questions that don't get any answers. Where is the Black Power, Black American militant and integrationist FBA ADOS candidate that y'all been grooming for the last 4 years to be president of the United States, which is supposed to be your country, by the way? So who's the alternative to them? You can't, and don't tell me, oh, Kamala is not black. Well, neither is Trump. So
I'm gonna
where's
tell
this
y'all
Black Power candidate that y'all been grooming? Where are they? How come all I hear is crickets?
because they're still waiting on white people to give them permission, sir.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Let me tell you something. I was listening to this guy's name. I was doing some research and I found a guy. This brother's name is Michael Harriot. He wrote the book. It's called Black AF History. Black as fuck history. You've probably seen it somewhere because apparently it's really popular. And I clicked on the link and it was like an hour interview with him, right? And I said, man, I don't want to hear all this because I have a hard time listening to these things personally because I know it's just a bunch of just fluff about black power and black oppression that don't mean anything with no solution. So I fast forward to like the last 10 minutes, right? I'm like, I want to hear what his solution is because I'm sure he's going to be asked this question, right? Boom. Bro, I fast forward it literally stops. That's why you know it was meant. It stops at a brother saying, so I'm from Atlanta. I had the opportunity to have black teachers. All my doctors been black, all like banks, blah, blah, blah. I see this, but we've had like Tulsa's, we've had the 1906 riots in Atlanta. How do we actually realize what we're doing here? Because we are doing it right here. He literally explained how we are doing it right here in some counties in America, especially down south. Bro, the brother took his brilliant question and said, the question is, we've done everything we can do. The question is, what are white people gonna do? This is literally what this brother said. I'm not joking, bro. I know you're laughing like it's a joke. He literally said this, and then he has the nerve to say this, y'all. This made me want to he said, there is no reason for us to imagine anything new. I promise you. I recorded it and you're not listening to me. He literally said there's no reason to fucking imagine. Not think, not plan, not organize. This brother said there's no reason to even fucking imagine anything new because we've done everything. We just need to wait on white people. And if you really be honest, this is how so many of our people think. They think that we're doing everything. God is gonna come and help us, and then the white man is one day gonna wake up and say we should be nice to these people. That's the truth that nobody wants to admit.
Wow.
I got the video. Look at my tick. It's like one of my last 2 or 3 videos on TikTok. I think I shared it on my YouTube. Yes, he literally says that after that brother asked that brilliant question, how do we realize actual black power here? And the brother said we need to. It's all about what white people are going to do because we've done everything. You don't have to imagine anything new. There is no future, nigga. You just sit and take this ass whooping until white people decide that they're tired.
Well, isn't that sort of in line with what Tariq Nasheed said? Because Tariq Nasheed's position is that white supremacy is everywhere. If you go to Pluto, it's going to be white supremacy. If you go to Mars, it's going to be white supremacy. There's no way to escape it. So I'm asking the same question that the white man he was debating asked. Is like, well, then what's up? It's like, it seems like you shit out of luck then, ain't you? What type of philosophy is that? There's nothing that you can do because the white man is going to destroy it. That's the philosophy that these black talking heads is preaching to our people. A philosophy of defeat, which is why I say, bend the knee. Bend the knee, nigga. Bend the knee. Stop fighting this white man because you really don't want to fight him. You really want to give him a hug and a kiss. You know, like in the movies where the girl is fighting the dude in her arms and then they just start kissing? That's the Black Power American and the militant integrationists. That's ADOS. That's FBA. That's all of these do it right here, niggas. They love being under the control of white people. They really do not think that black people are capable of running a society. That is the property and the domain of their master, the white man. And if you got a problem with what I'm saying, come on here and debate it. I know these niggas get very silent when I start talking like that because it's the truth. And you know it's the truth. You know you a bitch. You know you got on poom poom shorts. You know you getting fucked for protection. You ain't no goddamn man. So stop bowing up and getting all that wind in your sails like you are one. You a bitch. And maybe just like Alcoholics Anonymous, when you acknowledge you a bitch, maybe you can stop being one. But they love white man. They love the white man controls all of their reality. They think that this man is the devil, but they allow the devil to control their food supply and their water supply. So you don't really believe he's the devil. He's your parent. He's your master. So then why not bend the knee? What is all this pretentious black shit that we keep hearing? To the point where now we're making it a political thing. Oh, well, she's not black, so she can't represent us. When did that become a criteria? You guys are voting for Trump. Anyway, anybody else got anything to say? I don't want to keep rambling.
Yeah. So, well, no, you kind of already touched on that. No, next topic. What do we else got?
Who's JT, the bigger figure? Who is that?
I do not know.
I'm out of
But
the loop,
JT, the
dog.
bigger figure, is a notable force. I don't
Let
know
me
who
speak.
that
Let
is.
me speak on that. I do.
Okay, go ahead.
That's a Bay Area cat, man. I knew this cat not personally, but this is a Bay Area musician from San Francisco, and this brother moved to Kenya years and years and years and years and years ago, man. And he was building water stations and different plants and stuff. I haven't kept up with him as of late, but yeah, JT the biggest figure is somebody who actually went to Kenya and is doing things. Like I said, like I've been focused on BIO stuff, so I haven't kept up with him. But last time I seen him, he was still in Kenya doing stuff though.
Okay. Mountain says there are only one of two parties that will win the election. Pick one. We are Americans and everyone has a vote regardless of race. That's a conversation really that you should be having with Black Power Americans and militant integrationists, ADOS and FBA. If you're having that conversation with them, I agree with you 100%. Because those guys are on the fence. We're not on the fence. We've picked a side. So yeah, I don't disagree with that, Mountain. Print state money, so no, Whitey's not the devil to them. Yeah. Bay Area MC. So you and Vic know him.
Oh, y'all out there in the Bay Area?
And Vanessa says, and the religion keeps him in the position of a beggar slave. But we like that, Vanessa. Or I should say they like that. There's nothing that you can do to shame these Negroes, man. Shame is not even a thing anymore. They're proud. I used to, I got to tell you something, Deontay.
Sure.
The thing that I found to be the most shocking thing when I first got on YouTube and when I first started engaging in these topics and whatever, the thing that I found the most shocking is that the most resistance that I've gotten to land infrastructure nationhood have been from blackity black Negroes. They have been the
And I know why.
staunchest opponents. Tell me why.
Because they know it's going to expose them. That's why. It's going to expose them. It's going to it's going to deplatform them. That's why. If there's an actual government, then they lose all importance because now there's a higher figure. And like I said before, it's like Lord of the Flies for these niggas. It's going to be it's whoever can be the smartest Negro and take all this power. It's a power move.
You got Garveyites against nationhood, land infrastructure nationhood. Isn't that crazy? Garveyites. People that call themselves Garveyites, people that have Africa in their branding, who are against land infrastructure nationhood, who feel, why are we wasting our time going overseas when we can do it right here? Well, my question is this. I challenge the Do It Right Here people to support One United Bank. I challenge you to tell black people to take their money out of white banks and put it into the black bank, which is One United Bank. I challenge you to get your celebrities and your entertainers and all of these sports figures and athletes to support the black bank, to do commercials for the black bank, to create this groundswell of energy that gets all of our resources poured into our own bank. I challenge you to do that. Start there before you start talking to me about this Do It Right Here. You got, when we went to New Black Wall Street in Atlanta, Deontay, what did we see?
A bunch of, like, it was closing down or it was empty.
The vast majority of it was empty.
Yeah.
All the booths in the world for black businesses, but yet the Do It Right Here people are nowhere to be found. Where are they at? They're at the White Mall. And you're going to talk to us, black nationalists, about how we should do it right here when you're not even doing it? Where's the African American fund where we can pool our resources as a people? I already did the TikTok video. If we were to give $30 a month with the 50 million black people we have in here, we would be racking up to the tune of like $18 billion without even investment in, that's just raw cash on here. That's not even investments.
Right.
And yet, what is the tune that we hear? We ain't got no money, but we got money to give Chris Brown a $1,200 for a photo. And then you're going to tell me we don't have money? When you could go to any project and see a PlayStation and an Xbox, and you telling me we ain't got money?
Hmm.
You can support cigarettes. How much are cigarettes now? What are they? Who smokes? How much are cigarettes?
I don't smoke.
Are they over $15?
I'm not even sure.
I'm gonna imagine they over $15.
Hey, I'm gonna drop this this thing before I go. The reason why they don't support the new Black Wall Street in Atlanta is because it's not name brand. That's why.
Mm.
Yeah, you know how Negroes are.
Not name brand.
Javante, they don't have Javante. They don't have no Haagen-Dazs in there. They don't have, you know, Louis
In
V.
other words, no white
Saks
people.
Fifth. Yes, exactly.
No
They
white
got to be
people.
next to their man, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So because you don't have
Daddy
white
needs company.
designers, that's the reason why you don't support the Black Wall Street, the new Black Wall Street.
Exactly.
New Black Wall Street. And that's all we
Yeah.
were hearing before, is that how we need a new Black Wall Street. Well, you got one.
Yeah. Like the new Black Wall Street is a pimp that's not shining right now. So
And the big one for me is, and I'm going to preach this every time you hear me on the podcast or anywhere else, I'm going to keep saying this. Why aren't the black talking heads telling black people to take their money? Well, let's forget about black people as a whole. Why aren't you telling the pretendians, the FBA, and the ADOS to take their money out of white banks and put it into one United Bank? Why? Why am I, the black nationalist, suggesting this?
you actually care about Black people, and they don't.
Notice is strangely silent when it comes to asking the right questions, because I may not be the brightest bulb in the set, but one talent that I do have, and I've had this for a while, is the ability to ask the right question. Because when you ask the right question, you get silence. Nobody has told us. Ask your black talking heads, what is the black agenda? What is it? What is the end game for black folks here in America? What is it? Is it what is it, DEI? Is that what they call it? Hello? Deontay?
Yeah, we're here. Yeah,
Is
we're
that
here.
what they call it, DEI?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's
Diversity,
crazy.
equality, inclusion, or
Include.
equity, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like them
So
damn Star Wars films.
that's the goal. The goal is to just be included, right? You're gonna let like I
Yeah.
said in the description, the philosophy of the black conservative, the philosophy of ADOS, the philosophy of FBA, the philosophy of the do it right here Negroes is the white man got this. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Diversity, equity, inclusion. Yeah. Prove me wrong. Prove that I'm just talking shit. You guys can't even support your own black bank. And you're going to talk shit to us? At the bottom of the screen is the Liberia Leadership Academy link. We've already graduated 2 classes and we're working on a master class with the 3rd, doing a deep dive on Liberian history and Liberian ethics and how to be an ethical citizen. Umar Johnson hasn't even had one class, let alone a graduating class. But who gets the most energy and the most support? What does that say? We're actually amongst the few people that we have making things happen, creating tangible, concrete results. And yet we don't get the same amount of energy that a Umar Johnson or a Tariq Nasheed does. And I don't even want to concentrate on them because I've never really attacked them. Because I've always thought that what difference does it make what they are, and whether Umar Johnson is real or Tariq Nasheed is real? It doesn't. I don't look at them as really important in the grand scheme of things. What is important is, where does the vast majority of your financial support go to as a Black person? And then you will know why you're in the position that you're in. If the vast majority of your support goes to the weed man, then guess why we're in the situation we're in? Is it a shocker?
The weed man. Oh shit. Well,
Your money, wherever your money is, that's where your values are. And that's why I said every person gotta ask themselves, where's my money going? First of all, where is my money? Is my money in a Black bank? Oh, it's not. That's odd. I wonder why Black businesses and Black banks are not doing well. Wow, you think it might have something to do with I don't even have my fucking money in one? You think that might have something to do with it? I'm just tired of the bullshit, man. I'm tired of people out here pretending Black and trying to, faking Blackness. If you really support Black people, put your fucking money where your mouth is.
I
And don't
think
just
we need to make like some comprehensive stuff to do, like kind of a campaign about that too, because that's just a good one, and that's one that's like, if it's done well, it could be laid out to where people cannot just ignore that, because you could ignore, oh well, Black people are still oppressed. People can ignore that because they could be in a city where they don't see it, right? You could ignore some of the anecdotes of racism, but when you say something that just makes sense when it comes to finances, putting our money in the bank, supporting ourselves, so when you have a small business, you can go to One United. So when you need a home loan, you can go to One United instead of going to get denied. That's something that makes so much sense, that if people, I mean, we understand our people, we understand the like psyche of it, but that one makes so much sense that could knock on the right doors and tickle the right hearts, I think.
And it's such a simple message. Why don't these Black talking heads tell these people? One thing, like I said, I'll give Killer Mike credit for that, because he's been saying this even way before me. How are you going to call yourself for Black people if you ain't even got your money in a Black bank? And they don't want to have nothing to do with what he's saying. Where all of these athletes and entertainers, how come they're not doing commercials for the Black bank? Why don't you see them walking into a Black bank and establishing an account, or talking with some of the people in the bank? That would, if Beyonce decided that she was going to make a commercial for the One United Bank, do you know how many accounts would open up after that? You notice how much of the beehive would be opening up accounts at the One United Bank? Hell, let's get Sexy Red.
oh, I just don't like
Deontay
her.
said, "Oh, he said,
Yeah, I just
oh,
don't. Yeah, I just don't like her. Like, no, I don't. If we go to, I
yeah,
mean,
let's
at this,
have,
I mean, I want to have some morality with this. I just
yeah,
don't want
my
nothing to do
my
with that
my
broad.
my pussy pink, my booty hole brown, and my money is green in One United Bank."
Oh God. Well, and strangely enough, that shit may actually work.
Oh
Good
Lord.
God Almighty.
I found out a long time ago that I'm not stupid enough to be viral. Only really stupid shit gets viral. I just recently found out there's some fat, unattractive chick talking about being demure and something and whatever, and that's going viral. Like being viral is no big deal if you're an idiot. More than likely, you're gonna go viral if you're an idiot. But if you're saying anything that requires any intelligence, that's not gonna really go viral. You got to throw red meat to the morons if you want to go viral. Most of the time. Mountain says there's a book called The Color of Money. Has anyone read it? Nope, I haven't read that. What is it about, Mountain? Give us the cliff notes, and I'll throw it up. So no sexy red for the commercial for you, Deontay, right?
Man, I don't, man, no.
What about Megan Thee Stallion?
Oh, well, she's a step up. Not much.
What about Nicki Minaj or Cardi B?
Ew. I'll go with Nicki as the least harmful of all those.
What about Glorilla?
I don't know who that is, and I don't think I want to.
What about the Hawk Tuah girl?
The who?
The Hawk Tuah.
I don't know who that is. Thank God.
Good for you. Good man. I'm glad you don't. Peace. What's up, big brother R? The subtitle is Black Banks and the Racial Wealth Gap. Yeah, I definitely check that out. What about Ice Spice? No, none? Nobody?
No, I don't know any of these weirdos.
Vic says there's a downside to having morons in your audience. You don't want idiots approaching you. True. But it wouldn't be us. But I really believe that's something that they can do. They can say, let's support the Black Bank, do a commercial. If, like, let's say they do a commercial during the Super Bowl showing these athletes and entertainers all supporting one United Bank. Do you know how many accounts would open up after that Super Bowl is over on Monday? Everybody would be getting a One United Bank. Everybody. Yeah. They would have so much cash on hand that they would be able to do things like, I don't think right now they have a credit card, but they have a debit card, but they need to have a credit card. But I understand why they don't, because they're not really supported. You know, this doesn't work for you, Deontay. She's a baddie. She knows she a 10. She a baddie with her baddie friends. That's bars right there.
What is a 10? Like, really? Oh, frauds, man. If I were like at least 30, like 40 pounds slimmer, I would probably get all these girls. That's stupid.
Oh, you ain't got to get slimmer. Don't act like there's standards. You can be the way you are now and get them. You ain't got to do no self-improvement to get this trash that's out here. All you got to do is wear a watch and put a chain around your neck with a dollar sign. And they're like, ooh, God, he got money. But the point I'm making is, there's little things that they could do and they're not doing, and that lets you know that they don't really give a fuck about Black people. They don't care. They don't have a vision for the future for our people. We, on the other hand, do. You want to talk about Liberia for a second, Deontay? Talk about the opportunities that's available in Liberia, potentially.
Yes.
You want to talk about that?
Yes, I'm trying to. Yeah. Okay, so for Liberia, we have the Liberia Leadership Academy that is being funded out of the pockets of the good people, out of the BAIO and Liberia Forward.
Save the state.
Save the state. So what we are doing is teaching ethics, I believe, ethics and a variation of other topics. This is basically an educational program. So what we're doing is hoping to re. I'm trying to say this correctly. Maybe I shouldn't try to talk so sharp. So what we're basically doing is we're rebuilding the country through education and basic ethics and morals. And we know, and our greater goal is that one day someone, the next Liberian president, will be elected from this academy, and they will, Jesus Christ, and that they will one day come into power and help place policies, better policies in order to help further advance the country for the interests of not just Black African people, but well, Black not just Liberian people, but Black African people globally. Like we believe that Liberia is the future. It is especially for African American and those in the diaspora. So that's our main agenda. It gives us a chance to have a footing on the global power scale. And the more powerful Liberia becomes, the more powerful Black people, Africa becomes, the more powerful Black people becomes, and we'll be able to push ourselves in a new direction.
Also, Liberia is underpopulated.
Yes. So there's a lot of land and a lot of resources. Liberia is floating on rice, oil, and gold, and rubber, and coffee,
The place
and
is
diamonds.
wide open for a pioneer force, wide open for infrastructure development, wide open for businesses, wide open. Everybody talks about the money. Why don't you go to where the money is? Instead of being squeezed out of markets here in America, you would have direct link to your market in Liberia. So even if you wanted to just stay in America, you would still be doing business with your nation state, and you would squeeze everybody else out of those markets, and they would have to pay top dollar in order to enter them. Sort of like how they do with us. Funny, huh? All the Black business owners in America know what I'm talking about. They charge you top dollar to get into those markets.
Mm-hmm.
Top dollar. Wouldn't it be nice to do the same thing to them? Have a direct line of trade with your nation state in Liberia, and anybody that wants to, you can either squeeze them out completely, which I'm down for. I'm down for not giving them not one shred of our market. But if they are going to enter into the market, make them pay top dollar.
I agree, because that's what they do to everybody else.
Right. So that's the thing, man. It's like we got to think in terms of power. You got to think about a vision for the future of your people. On the Black nationalist, African-centered progressive side, we are thinking about that, and we are actually not just thinking about it. We're actually putting forth tangible and concrete things to deal and make that vision manifest into reality. We're not just doing theoretical shit. We're doing actually real world stuff. And like I said, the Liberia Leadership Academy has already had 2 graduating classes where Umar Johnson hasn't had one student complete a class in his so-called school that he's been having people donate to. So why are you still putting all of your eggs in that basket when you have something that's actually working and actually yielding results? All we need is more help, and we can yield more results.
Right.
But we're yielding results amongst just the people in our inner circle, and we're able to get shit done. So can you imagine what we would do if we had full support?
Yeah, because Umar has full support. They get that
Right.
motherfucker 250,000. I could
Yeah.
only dream of what we would do with that kind of money.
First of all, we already did the math. For us to renovate the school in Liberia is going to cost 60,000. We've already done the math. It's not even a whole bunch of money. But the problem is our people don't support what's actually working, and with more, they more want to support a clown show than they do anything that's actually real. I know the link isn't clickable on the scrolling
No, not on
banner,
not on the scrolling one, not on my side.
but
No.
just go to any of our social media platforms, including mine, and you will see the link. It's everywhere. So I don't even have to post it in the chat. It's everywhere. And we had a successful graduation. We have video of that graduation. We're going to be putting out an ad campaign for the Liberia Leadership Academy. We're working on that because it's working. And it's like a snowball going downhill, because once people find out the truth, guess what? They tell other people. And then lies are not acceptable anymore. Now, when you hear a lie, you can challenge it because you know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing tangible, concrete things. The question is, what are you as a Black person supporting? And I'm asking everybody in this chat room, what do you support as a Black person? How much of your resources is going toward the empowerment and the future of your people? And how much of it is going toward the weed man, the alcohol man, the bodega? How much of it is going toward Dos Equis, Red Stripe, Corona?
Xbox.
How much of it is going toward that? How much is it going to a white bank? When you get your check from work, where does it get deposited into? Uh-oh. Am I touching a nerve? I know where my money's going. I'm not saying you don't need to take your money completely out of the white institution that you have it in, but at least open up an account with your Black bank. Siphon some of those funds over to your Black bank. If you don't have full confidence yet, you can at least do that. And there's a referral code. When you start an account with One United Bank, you can give that referral code to your next person, and you can benefit from that. How come the Black nationalist is telling you this, and FBA, ADOS, and the Pretendians aren't? How come they're not telling you to support your Black bank? Oh, I forgot, you're not Black, you're Indian. Anyway, I think we've exhausted this.
Yeah, it's
I
been
think we've
almost 2
exhausted
hours.
this. Yeah, we did a good job. I haven't read that book, Baruti. I saw your question. Vanessa says, oops, what'd she say? I can see, where is it? Where's Vanessa? I can see my beautiful house on beach in Liberia. Yes, you can. Blessings from Milwaukee, Latasha. Thank you. Root of the problem, no confidence. Thank you, Eric Sway. What has changed politically in Liberia that would make it a bastion for progress? It has been plagued with corruption for over 70% unemployment with no control over the factors of production. True. The only thing that will make it change is the change in the people.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the change from the leadership, that's for sure. You're only going to get a change is if the people, because the one thing about that place, Sincere, is that it's not run by elites. The people actually run the country. The problem is the people aren't educated. So that's the reason why corruption is running amok. So how do you get rid of that? You got to educate the people about their own country. Show them the history of their country. Oh, wait, hold on. Take over for me, Deontay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. A better educated populace and an informed populace will make better decisions. So until Liberia can get that to at least a good 60%, 65% capacity, you're going to have rampant corruption. So the first step is education. So we need to start there.
What I see more than anything, when you realize what Liberia is and you realize what's available in Liberia, you can look at it like, if you somebody who's uber into politics in America, if you look at somebody who's uber into black oppression, uber into equality, you can be spending that energy somewhere where you're actually going to see fruit. This is the point. We spend so much time on hamster wheel activism, i.e., picketing, marching, doing the same thing we've been doing literally since the 60s. You know what we don't do, though? We don't put our money together to pay politicians like intelligent races do. We just don't. We don't. So when we talk about doing stuff like Do It Right Here, it's like the things that we should have already been doing. Mind you, we have been here longer than all these other quote unquote minority races, y'all. We're not new here. And we letting these people lap us. And then we just blame white people. Well, the white people, yes, this is true. And you want to stay around them. So stop that argument. Stop the white people argument. Because if you're not trying to leave them, you can't say that. You know what they do. And then what's required for us to dominate that is for us to work together. And then we don't do that here because of the system of America is made to make us like how we are, y'all. We're not naturally like this. Don't believe the hype. We're not. We are egalitarian, humanitarian people. Naturally, that's our universal spirit. Hard stop. Yet we've been so donned with this cloak of whiteness that we think it's all about us, all about me, all about my family, all about me. Me. Can't trust black, but I'll trust everything else. I trust the white school. I trust the white bank. I trust my white employer. I trust my white home. I trust everything that these people offer. But when some black people say, y'all, we can do all this for ourselves, rightly though, where they're not even in the way. But it's a sickness. It's a sick cowardice disease. We make every excuse. We want to talk about books. We want to talk about history. We want to talk about oppression. But when we talk about this is what we need to do to reverse it right now, moving forward, everybody don't want to talk anymore. No one wants to talk about that. We don't want to do that. There's things that we can do to change our realities here and abroad. We need to do those things, not talk about them, not fantasize, not keep on putting the onus on white folks to change. They're not. Why would they? We have no stake in the game to say you need to do this or else. The stake that we have is ourselves, and we will not use ourselves against them. We will not. So stop playing. Goodbye.
Peace out. Yo, Harlop, you still there? Okay. Well, that's all for today, folks. We'll see you good people later. And we hope y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Peace out.
Yo, they left me. I told them to hold it down until I got back. What happened? This broke out? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah. I had to come in. I thought you just forgot, but yeah.
No, I told Deontay hold it down for me because I had a knock on my door.
Yeah. But I think I wrote it in the chat, but I think Ice Spice would make a great brand ambassador with her litter.
For One United?
Yeah.
I think at this point anybody would make a great ambassador for
Yeah.
them.
Have them twerk to the bank office and open an account.
Yeah, get on top of the desk.
Yeah. Get twerk points.
There you go. Hey man, at this point I'm willing to settle for anything. But I don't know. They left out. Did you see what happened? They just left?
Umoja made one speech and then he had to dip out, and Deontay left. But I think there's still some people left over.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm not gonna stay on because we did almost 2 hours. It's like an hour and 55 minutes. I think we've exhausted it. There's another question. How do you think so-called American Liberians, descendants of returnees, feel about Liberia now? Do you feel they feel safe as a group? Do they feel politically marginalized? But Rudy, you should come into the BAIO general chat on WhatsApp and on Signal and ask that question, because then I feel like probably Jabari and Carl are more qualified to really give you a deep dive on that. But anyway, y'all, I'm out of here. I'm getting ready to get me something to eat, and I will holler at you good people later. Oh, wait a minute, Mike. I missed the fucking meeting. Did we have one?
I thought we didn't do it because the live stream was overlapping with the time frame, so that's why I didn't bother saying anything.
Okay, because I
did post to the Zoom link and it got disappeared. I'm like, oh yeah, the live thing. So
yeah, I missed the meeting because I had set an alarm so I can get up in time to do this.
Yeah, I woke.
I
didn't want to make the mistake I made last week, so I was up at 10.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Anyway, y'all, I'll holler at you guys later. Have a good one.
Peace.